Hello, this is Decoherent, and welcome back to Torment, Tides of Numenera. So, things are ticking along here in Mile of Vest. We discovered that this nifty pyramid is actually a suicide machine, so that was pretty cool. We mediated an argument between Andronis and Reba, and by mediated I mean we said, guys, stop fighting, and they roll their eyes and ignore us. So, I don't know, I like to feel like I made a difference here. And we're about ready to go through the Mirrorcaster here that Adiris has, and hopefully hunt down the guy that's going to help us fix the resonance chamber. But first, we are going to finish talking to Elkshai, because I don't believe that I spoke to him much past saying hello. So let's find out. He says, grimacing. His hand flies to the scar on his hairline. I had questions for you. We all did. I don't remember if I asked them. Oh, I did. That's right. He's got a whole bunch of gods arguing. Which is unfortunate. Did we ask him what the endless battle was like? He shudders. We killed. We were killed. The dead crept into my mind. They told me to kill more, and I did, because that's what we do. It's in our nature, you know. We're worse than animals, cast-offs, humans. Whether created or evolved, we are all inclined to conflict. The dead crept into my mind. Huh. Blinks. That's an interesting thing to say. Let's see here. Killing is human nature. The only difference is that we don't die as easily. Interesting. Right, killing's human nature, ruining lives, the rightness of their side, waste of lives and knowledge, didn't have an opinion. Conflict makes us stronger. Thalana says ruin the lives of those involved. Alright, whatever, guys. Complain, complain. Let's see here. I had one more thing that I was just thinking about. No, I've forgotten what it was. Let me just check all these quick anyway. Well, alright. We're still looking for help for Eridus, of course. But I think that we are all set to jump into the Mirrorcaster here and start screwing around with reality. That's just how I roll. I'm ready to give you the Mirrorcaster. You need but ask. Alright, let's go find Mazov. Show me the Mirrorcaster. You have proven to me that I can trust you. Only remember what you have learned in these tasks. Be gentle with Zarian. You are violating his mind. Oh, sorry. Be true to his path. Find what you need and return without causing him harm. You have a duty to preserve his life as he intended it, if at all possible. I agree, so I will be careful. She presses the box into your hands. Tidal energy swirls around it, drawing you in like a maelstrom. You focus on it, opening your innermost eye, and you are torn from your body. I like to keep my eyes on the outside. When you first open your eyes, there's only a ruddy glow and frightening shapes and shadows around you. The air is hot and stifling. As your eyes adjust, you realize you're outside, but the sky is darkened by clouds of pitch. The ruddy glow comes from lava flows as they trundle down distant mountains into the volcanic fields all around you. Sharp towers pierce the sky, tapered like the bones of a ribcage. Indeed, they look like bones in every way, as does the ground beneath you. You appear to be standing on the spine of an enormous beast. The bottom of its jaw can be seen in the distance, half buried beneath a layer of cooled lava. Wow, this is pretty. Most of the bone towers look identical, but one shines from the inside with an odd blue light. The top of the glowing tower has been snapped off, and what looks like a transport hovers near its peak. It's your transport. You were sent here to find something. Twisted bridges connect the spine to the volcanic fields around you. In one direction lie enormous foundations of obsidian, arches, spires, a wall. In the other direction, a narrow pass is carved into the mountain face. The field leading to the canyon is illuminated by hundreds of glowing lights. You know this body wasn't sent to find Mazov, but Adiris said he'd appear. Perhaps following through events will lead you to him. Interesting. So what do we do here? So that's our transport. Do we look at the towers? Oh, I didn't look at this closely enough. Wow, yeah, they are towers, except for this broken one. Let's explore the towers around the spine quick. Oh, I have to roll for that. Okay. You search through tower after tower. Some of the chambers you come to are filled with piles of dead relics and broken ciphers, but nothing of value. Finally, you come across something promising. You find a staff made of some prior world metal. It's cool to the touch, unusual given the extreme temperature of the air itself, and burn marks blacken one end. Very likely, this was used as a weapon. It may work again, but probably only once. You take the staff with you. In this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics, and we do not have cold side without a hot side. Okay, let's see if we can just remember who we are and how we can find Mazov. You are in the body of Zarian Daywalker, a Jack who can speak with the dead. Interesting. Indeed, now that you remember that, you can feel the dead all around you. You can hear them. It takes little effort to know the stories of those who died here. You may even be able to imbue some of your life force into their corpses. Zarian is wearing a black, form-fitting suit that keeps off the worst of the heat. He carries a whip and various necromantic implements. Zarian was on a task for someone named the Chimera. He was sent here to find some kind of sphere. Okay, spheres, well, that's not an unusual object. Perhaps Zaria's mission will aid you on your own. Let's use my connection to the dead to learn a little more about the area of the spine here. You were in a place called the Fields of Ossifagan, and many have lived and died here, although it seems a terrible place to live. Scavengers from Sagas Cliffs have been through here in recent centuries, seeking treasures of the past. Before that, it was mutants fleeing revolution after bloody revolution in a place called Haref. Before that, refugees come from a visit called Shuinha. Before that, the Ossifians themselves. You see a glimmer of a powerful artifact. Hundreds of years ago, there was a battle here. Many died. 2 people, a middle-aged woman and a teenaged girl, fought over a copper sphere at the top of the glowing bone tower. Perhaps that copper sphere is what you were sent here to find. Yep. Let's go take a look at it. Wish I could scroll back. That is the one with the transport on it, right? You were at the top of the broken bone tower. Jagged bone walls act as a kind of parapet. From here, you can see the fields of Ossifagan even better, the spine below you, the obsidian formations in one direction, and the glowing fields in front of the mountain pass in the other. Glowing fields, huh? Floating just beside the tower is a hovering pod made of azure steel. A ramp leads from the parapet into the transport. Well, I don't know if I want to get into that right away. Let's try to use our connection to the dead to learn more about the top of this bone tower. Little has happened here, but for one event that immediately becomes apparent. You see a middle-aged woman, you know her name is Ama, facing off against a young girl named Thea. Ama is hovering in the air like the transport does now. She holds a copper sphere that glows with a golden light. Angry words are exchanged, and suddenly Thea leaps off the tower and tackles Ama. The two of them soar through the air towards the obsidian formations in the distance. Will this transport take us there? I think so. As you approach the ship, a tingling crawls up your spine. You have a profound sense of a task unfinished, and that trouble awaits you, or at least it awaits the person whose body you are in, if you leave now. Is this what Adiris meant when she said to be careful with Zarian's life? Okay. I back away from the transport. The nagging worry disappears immediately, as though it was only a brief hallucination. Okay, I'll walk to the obsidian formation, sorry. Oh wow! Crossing the volcanic plains, you arrive at the obsidian formations. Massive structures of cooled, shining rock leap from the ground, curling into impossible shapes. An enormous black wall rings most of the formations, rising 100 meters out of the ground in some places. The obsidian formations are dark, quiet, and desolate. A hot wind blows from the magma flows further off, but here nothing flows and nothing lives. In the distance, you can see the spine and bone towers, and in the other direction, the plains atop a sheer cliff face with a mountain pass carved in between. Look at this. Sorry, I have to take a moment to look at the art. You guys get to look at it while I read. Okay, let's use my connection to the dead to learn a little more about this location. Intelligence is always good. The obsidian formations did not form naturally. Creatures made of pure light called fire whites formed these structures out of hot, flowing magma, then supercooled them into the shapes they are now. The whites were trying to get at something or someone, You see a pair of figures atop a small flying platform. One of them holds a copper sphere that glows with a golden light. The whites tried to trap them here with their wall, but they escaped and flew towards the mountain pass. Everyone wants this thing. How fast did they make this thing that they were trying to trap them? Another event occurred here. The fire whites have killed many people over hundreds, maybe thousands of years. These deaths culminated in the creation of something called the Gamorn, a creature of pure rage. The Gamorn has since wandered these volcanic fields with an insatiable lust for revenge, mostly against the white that created it. Do I explore or just go straight to the mountain pass? Exploring can be interesting, but I don't want to run into something that wants revenge. Let's explore a little. Uh-oh. You search for anything remotely interesting, but the place is barren. As you are about to leave, an orange glow reflects off the rocks ahead. An enormous paw steps in front of your path, and the rest of the creature emerges. It's the Gamorn, a pillar of light with claws. Ugh. 100 faces twist in its body, emerging, howling, then melting back into the curling fire. The creature is easily 3 meters wide, and at least twice as tall. Yeah, let's, oh shoot, now I don't remember if it said the spine or the pass. Oh, the spine being the one we were just at. Let's run to the mountain pass. You run. The Gamorn roars behind you, but it doesn't seem interested in you in particular. After a while, its roars fall into the distance. Once again, we bravely ran away. Wow. The mountain pass is still some distance away, but you're close enough to see that there is too much rubble at the bottom to make your way through. Spread out in front of the cliffs is a great volcanic plain. Across the entire expanse are hundreds and hundreds of creatures lit with a dim glow that has nothing to do with the magma. You know these creatures are called fire whites. At the moment, they seem to be ignoring you. They seem dangerous. I sort of want to see what it is they're doing, and I have the lore to roll for it. Yeah? You stay near them, watching for a long time. At first, they seem to be just wandering without rhyme or reason. But then you realize the shifts you feel in the air temperature are not random nor natural. The whites themselves are causing them. Indeed, once you figure this out, you can see how they use the temperature of the air as a kind of communication between each other. Maybe you could use this information to slip past them. The what? What shield? I'm positive we haven't seen a shield yet. Okay. Learn more about the area, I think probably. Attack them? Nah. Attack them with the staff? Maybe. Probably. Use the connection to the dead to animate a corpse. To get the sphere for you. Let's use my connection to the dead to learn a little more about this location. You see a group of people in tattered clothing march through the pass and out of these fields. They are terrified, having lost many of their number to the whites. You see 2 figures riding a small flying platform, almost like a shield. Suddenly, the platform teeters and the figures fall. You can see the spot where the shield fell, although the bodies are no longer there. You can feel the presence very strongly. And there, a short distance away, you can see where one of the figures dropped what looks like a copper sphere. Aha! Okay, I'm not going to explore because that went poorly last time. Well, obviously we want the shield, and we're not going to attack them. Should I speak to those who died here? I'm trying not to, draw any attention to myself, you know? Let's try that. Although there are no bodies on the surface, you can feel the dead beneath the rock, preserved by magma that has flowed over this spot for centuries. One is a middle-aged girl named Ama. The other is a girl, but she is strangely silent. Even with your strange powers, there's nothing to speak with. Peace, says Ama. Is it better? Better, yes. Better oblivion. Who are you? Ama? The disembodied voice sounds like it's calling Ama rather than naming herself. No, not Ama. Shelled. Cast away. Eaten and alive, and again. Not a ma, food for whites. Shelled, cast away, eaten and alive, and eaten again. Huh. What happened to you? Buried to death. Before that, lived. Before that, died. Before that, lived and died and lived, and so many cycles, so many deaths. The air shivers. Her tone drops dangerously low. Before that, someone else. Awoke and remembered. A fight. A girl. Erlimnian? Erlimnian? Erlimnian. Although you cannot see Ama, her presence moves through you, turns your head. You see the fields in the distance, and what she is talking about. The Erlimnian, a sphere of burnished metal lying in the rock, and you know this is what you were sent here to find. Should I ask about the girl? Why can't I speak with the girl? Gone. Gone, but not gone. You shudder, but it's not you who is shuddering. She awoke something. Vengeance. Although no vengeance is in her. You feel Ama's presence looking off toward the obsidian formation. There's something glowing and moving over there. Hopefully that's just the thing that we met. Ama becomes silent. You sense a wave of gratitude and annoyance, but mostly the former, and then nothing. Her presence is gone. You feel like no asking will bring her back. Okay. Well, it'd be nice to get the shield, but it sounds like it's out in the middle of everything. Let us try... I think I'd rather use a cat's paw to get this, so let's use our connection to the dead to animate a corpse and have the corpse get the sphere for you. Reaching into the earth, you find the body called Ama and summon her forth. With uncanny strength, she crawls out from the cooled rock. Though her skin is charred and rotting, a cast-off tattoo is clearly visible on her head. Whoa. You command her to collect the sphere, but Ama's body only makes it a short way before the whites attack her. Their hands reach inside of her, consuming what little life force you imbued her with. As they do so, the air grows intensely cold. She's a cast-off. That's interesting. Okay, well that didn't work. Should we try to get the shield? To hopefully be able to get at the sphere? Okay, so clearly trying to get to the sphere is not going to work. They're going to catch us. Okay. Is the shield close enough to get to it? I don't know. Okay, well we've established that we can't get to the sphere, so let's see if I can get to the shield and kind of float my way over. The whites don't bother you as you pry the shield from the ground, but after a few minutes of tugging and digging, you realize it's impossible. The rock has cooled and melted and cooled again several times around the device. It's not going anywhere. You try another corpse? Let's try another corpse. Again, Ama's body crawls out of the cooled rock, and again the whites devour her life force. It looks like you'll need something more to get past the whites. Okay, let's explore very carefully, since they don't seem to care about us, given that it's just ignoring us as we poke at the shield. Let's explore very carefully. You search for a time, but there's very little out here in the fields. You do find some kind of large shield embedded in the molten rock nearby. You also feel, rather than see, the strong presence of death here. You try to search further, but a group of fire whites crowds in and threatens you. It's going to be difficult to get past them. Well, I guess, you know, we've never bothered each other. Maybe they don't care about me? Let's try to get the sphere. This is going to go poorly. Now that you know the whites communicate through temperature variation, you might be able to avoid their attention by feel better than sight, assuming you can figure out what the different temperatures mean. The sphere is about 300 meters away, and the whites shift around constantly. It's going to be tricky to get there. Okay, so when they caught and killed her, the air got cold. So the question is... So when they do something bad, it got cold. So does that mean that if I stayed where it's cold, is not someplace they're going to go? Or is cold going to be whatever's catching their attention? Or try to stay where the temperature ripples? I'm going to try to move where the air is cool. You edge your way closer to the sphere. One white looks your way, and then another. Suddenly, the air alternates between streaks of intense cold and heat. You don't know what it means until several of the whites block your way to the sphere. The rest of you come at you with outstretched hands. Ah, crap. Should we run back? I think let's try to run back and try again. Run to the obsidian formations. The air grows colder as the whites close in. You bolt in the opposite direction. As you near the enormous obsidian structures, the air heats up again to its previous volcanic levels. The whites have disappeared suddenly, and you are alone. Okay, let's go back to the mountain pass. Okay, so... cold is wrong. So, when they were threatening me, it was alternating between hot and cold? I think so, let's try that. You close the distance to the sphere by about 100 meters. It seems like the whites are ignoring you, but suddenly one turns your way. It seems more curious than hostile, but either way, it's following you now. Okay, let's stay the course. The white continues following you, but it remains at a distance. You are able to escape the attention of the other whites and close the distance to the sphere by another 100 meters. Okay, so far so good. Close enough! You dive forward, grabbing the sphere and tumbling away before the whites can stop you. The air suddenly becomes a sickening pattern of intense cold and heat. You have escaped the whites' attention so far, but they're paying attention to you now. Several of them attack you with outstretched hands. Let's try to run. The air grows colder as the whites close in. You bolt in the opposite direction. As you near the enormous obsidian structures, the air heats up again to its previous volcanic levels. The whites have disappeared suddenly, and you are alone. Okay, let's return to the spine. I'm back on the spine of a great dead monster buried in the lava. Towers jut out all around us. The transport floats up the top. Okay, so I got the sphere, but I haven't found our guy. Let's climb the tower to the transport again. Let's enter the transport. You step aboard. The transport does not appear to have been made with adult humans in mind. There is only room enough for you to lie down, and even then, you have to roll on your side and bend in your legs slightly. As soon as you have done so, the ramp recedes and the doorway disappears. Your stomach lurches as the transport takes to the sky. At first you try to peer out of the tiny portholes, but all you see is pitch black, presumably the volcano's black clouds. Eventually, they are replaced by the black of a starry sky. You try to see the land below, but it's impossible in the cramped space. Hours passed. Finally, the transport slows. Its humming ceases, and the door reappears. Whoa! You step out of the transport, stretching painfully. You are in a strange cavern. Artifacts are strewn everywhere, in various stages of repair or experimentation. One wall is covered by a network of displays, showing people and scenes that mean nothing to you. In the center of the room is an enormous cage made from steel tendrils that twist together at the top. The cage glows for a moment, and a figure walks out. He wears a thick cloak, but his face is most strange. It shifts and blurs, changing its features constantly. You get the impression that you are seeing a person, but you can't decide what that person looks like at all. His name comes to your mind immediately, the Chimera. Is that a teleporter? Took you long enough. The Chimera's voice is metallic and artificial, shifting as often as the features of his face. His expressions slide and change, but all of them are frowning as he reaches forward and takes the sphere from you. With your unique gifts, I thought finding a dead relic would come easier. The Chimera sets the sphere on a nearby table with a clunk. He immediately picks up a variety of scanning tools, one after the other, probing the sphere and its secrets. He seems to have forgotten about you. You look around the cavern, but there are no entrances or exits, nowhere that Mazov could be except the cage. Yes, I'm too much of a coward to try to pronounce the name again. Uralimian. Okay, Uralimian, I'm going with it. So, where's Mazov? I need to speak with him. Mazov, the Chimera's alternating voice, slips from baritone to falsetto in a rapid series of notes. A dozen different eyes narrow with suspicion. I'm not sure that tinkerer could tell you anything useful, but I can think of no reason to deny you. The Chimera turns and slides a hand along one of the metal tendrils. Although no discernible interface appears, he presses his finger against the metal twice, and the cage begins to glow. The Chimera turns his attention back to the sphere, indicating that you should enter the cage with a dismissive wave. Don't actually be a cage. Two of the metal tendrils become a kind of gateway. On the other side, Mazov squats on some sandy alien shore. Hey, good. Stars twinkle in the sky behind him, but there are no stars you recognize. He picks up his head as though he heard something, and then he turns around to face you. One of his eye sockets is artificial, alternately projecting a human eye, a snake's eye, and something even more alien in the time he looks you over. He looks like a shipwreck survivor, bare-chested, sorry. Ragged pants, ragged beard. If so, he's better than you'd expect. Zarian, he says, his human eye squinting in the light. What the hell do you want? He peers forward as though trying to see into the cavern. Where are you? He spreads his arms in mock welcome. I'm on a goddamn beach having the time of my life. What's it look like I am? He crosses his arms across your chest. The hell did you want? Are you really Mazov, the one who talks to machines? His brow furrows, while his artificial eye socket cycles through about a dozen different eye patterns in 2 seconds. His tone drops to a dangerous low. Who are you? Zarian would already know him. I've already given up the game. Let's not play stupid. I'm not really Zarian. I'm a cast-off using a Mirrorcaster to project myself. I was told that you could fix the resonance chamber. Mazov's human eye grows as wide as a saucer. His other eye flips through a few images, landing on a red eye with 3 pupils that scrutinizes you up and down. This is beyond me, and that's something, he says. About the resonance chamber, though, the only one who benefits from that is the changing god. That bastard's got nobody's interests at heart but his own. Don't listen to a damn thing he says. How would the resonance chamber benefit the changing god? The resonance chamber is only good for one thing, he holds up a finger, and that's snuffing us out. The changing god plans to use it to merge us all, every cast-off that still lives, back into his body. That's the plan for stopping the sorrow. Aha! I was right! Good for me. He puts a grease-stained hand on your shoulder. Look, I don't know who you are, or what your part is in this, but you cannot let him activate the chamber. You need... He glances over your shoulder at something in the cavern. Although when you turn, you see nothing there. The first is alive, he whispers, drawing your attention back to him. And she's got her own plan for the chamber, one that won't kill us all. Our sire has a new cast-off body that he plans to use as a catalyst for the chamber, but the first has a better plan, something that won't snuff out every last one of us. Look for her in the bloom, he says grimly. Just be sure you don't... Before you can finish, you feel a wrenching twist in the center of your body, like your heart is being wrung dry. Your vision tunnels black, and you feel as though your body were being sucked through a steel pipe. You're being pulled out of the mirror, but it's far more painful than it was before. Then Mazov, the cave, and everything else disappears. Okay, so this takes place in the past, so we are the catalyst.
I'm ready to learn something new.
Whoa. Whoa. You plant your hand on the icy floor and push, staggering up to your feet. Every inch of your body aches, as though you've been crushed in a massive hand. The specter stands before you, impassive. It may be your imagination, but it seems more solid than before. This is the thing up from the top of Saga's cliffs. What's happening? Why am I in the labyrinth? Your words tumble into the air and fall apart like handfuls of dust. At this time, you're certain. The specter is less transparent than it was even a second ago. I brought you here, the specter says calmly. We need to talk. You can barely hear him through the pain. Ah, great, it's the changing god. Ugh. Alright. Hey dude, what's up? But this is your mind, honed in your duel against malaise, sharpened to a glittering edge. You inhale. Clearing the pain from your limbs, you gather the thoughts to you. Focusing, you open your eyes. The specter, now slightly transparent, is speaking again. I have something I've been meaning to tell you. You see, I haven't been completely honest with you. I'm not a part of you. You're a part of me. I created you. I'm the changing god. Uh-huh. I've been wondering where you were. Here, he says simply, his outline solidifying. Here all along. So you didn't jump out of my body in the way that everything else has. You just kind of ducked back in the corner? That's actually a pretty clever idea. Now, I know this is a lot to take in. It means the body of yours is actually mine. I've lived in it for years, and now that we know the first is still alive, I need it back. What would happen to me? A good question, he says. He seems taller than he did a moment before. Once you give me my body back, your thoughts would be pushed to the back of my mind. It'd be frightening for a moment. Disorienting maybe, but not painful. And then, our thoughts would merge. You'd become a part of me again. He spreads his hands. And that's it. Now, give me my body back. No, screw you, dude. I knew you'd say that. But let's get this straight. I lived in this body. I made it for a purpose. And now you say that your wisp of a life outweighs my centuries of experience? Yep. We knew you were like this. Or maybe you think my first cast-off has a better way, Some magical solution to live out your false existence without price? I promise you, she has no such thing. She has always only killed to get what she wants. Her self-interest is just as strong as yours and mine. The only difference between the three of us is that I am real. Hey! Dick? And I want to be real clear here. I'm not the one, tearing the universe apart in my own self-interest. Thank you very much. You wouldn't exist if it weren't for me. You don't exist apart from me. Everything you are is a byproduct of my skills, my intellect, my experiences. And now that I have the chance to stop the sorrow, to save us all, you refuse me? Who the hell are you? Well, I'm not the changing god. I'm the new owner of this body. It was never yours to take, the specter says, grimacing. No, let me tell you what you are. You are an accident of fate, a parasite in the mind I built. You are a child. I don't want to destroy you, but I will if I must. Give me control. No. Then I'll take it, the specter says, and spreads his arms. Whoa. Tidal energy pours from the air around you, flowing into the specter. The ground itself slips around your feet, holding you in place. You feel the grip on your body, your mind, slipping by finger lengths. You are diminishing. He's winning. You search your mind, your hard-earned memories, for something that will loosen his hold on you. Can we recall her? Allies would be nice. The moment your mind touches her, she is there, facing the specter, sorrow and anger radiating from her eyes, her heart. Scowling, the specter flicks his hand to your side in a dismissive gesture, and she fades away once more, taking some of his radiance with her. Aha! His outline flickers once, like a candle in a soft breeze. So, we just need to keep throwing doubt at him? Your machines have driven women and Sagas mad. What makes you think you deserve to return? The specter winces, as if you have struck him, and mutters something under his breath. His outline blurs, becoming hazier. Seriously, I don't necessarily want to fight him, but I'm staying in control here. Should I pull my feet free? I don't want to threaten him. Let's pull my feet free first. You struggle against the ground, even as it creeps up your legs, but you cannot free yourself. We don't need to fight. We aren't fighting, the Spectre says in a level voice. An argument requires two people. At best, you're a muscle cramp, a headache, and you will subside. Very well, I'm going to have to rip you out of my mind. His expression hardens. You won't live that long. In another few minutes, your mind will be tattered wisps of thought, fading in the air. I strain against the floor, holding me in place, but no, you're trapped. All right. Sorry, dude. You asked for it. Turn the tides against the Spectre. The Spectre's eyes widen as you straighten, gathering the threads of the tides in your hands. You raise them before you. Don't, the Spectre growls, but you ignore him, wrenching the threads apart. Agony explodes in your mind, lashing through your body, damaging essential parts of you, and the Spectre as well. Blue and silver died, huh? With a shuddering gasp, he stumbles backwards, fading in and out of visibility. The pressure on your mind dwindles and ends. Fine, he says, eyeing you with a cool contempt. If you're so intent on stopping the sorrow on your own, have at it. Let's see how you handle what's in store without my help, my guidance. Then he fades completely, but speaks again. His voice is coming from all around you, from every corner of your mind. He's not gone, only hidden himself in your mind. I wasted my time trying to reason with you. That won't happen again. Well, I tried. I don't really have a quarrel with you, but, you know, this is my truck, okay? I'll cheerfully share it with you, but I'm staying in the driver's seat. Oh, wow. As the portal closes behind you, something feels off. It only takes a second to realize the Spectre is gone. It's quieter now in the calm of your mind. But he's not truly gone, is he? You can feel him out there watching, waiting perhaps for a moment of weakness in which to strike. Well, this isn't going to be great for my mental state. Okay, well that was amazing. Wow. Okay, so after that bit of astonishment, let's go ahead and take a break, and then we will continue in the next episode. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.